You've been invited to a family or friend's Thanksgiving and it is not going to be gluten friendly. Should you bring your own food? Should you just eat what's being served? Or maybe you shouldn't eat at all. Today, I'm going to help you navigate through this tricky Thanksgiving dinner situation. Hi, my name is Alicia Falk-Horton from Simply Gluten-Free Kitchen, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking about Thanksgiving dinners that aren't gluten friendly and how you should handle them. Should you bring your own food to eat? Should you eat what's already being served? Or maybe you shouldn't eat at all. Let's dive into these and really break them down for you so you can still have an enjoyable Thanksgiving. All right, option number one, bring your own food. There's a couple different ways you can handle this. You could bring one serving container full of all of your favorite gluten-free Thanksgiving favorites, or you bring a gluten-friendly dish to pass, and then that is at least one thing that you know you will be able to eat. This is something you could discuss with the host first to see if they have an option they'd like better, or maybe they're willing to prepare a few things for you. But in the past, what I've done, I have a big family and we usually have tons of gatherings around the holidays. So I would make myself some turkey, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, and then I would dish it out into separate meal prep type containers. And I would just take that one container with me to the host's house, microwave it up, pop it on one of their plates, and then I would eat right along with everybody else, but it was my own personal food that I brought. Another option is the cooking something and bringing it yourself. The big thing with that though is just make sure that you label it gluten free. And if you are really sensitive, like I am, someone with celiacs or an actual, wheat allergy, I would just dive into that dish first, just in case there's a little bit of cross contamination. Option number two, you eat what the host is serving. To do this safely as a gluten free person, I would suggest reaching out to the host beforehand and just having a little chit chat. Ask them how they're preparing their food. What types of food are they going to have? What kind of ingredients are they using? They might even be comfortable enough with you suggesting a couple of different brands and them making a gluten free little dish for you. It really just depends on your comfortability, how well you know the host, and if it's going to be an option for you. Now, if you have celiacs or a wheat allergy, it's even riskier to then go to someone's house and eat food where multiple different options are there, whether it's gluten free or gluten. So you just have to use your discretion. Some of the things I have done in the past is I have just made sure that I am the first one to go nab at some of the dishes before other people are getting into them, because it could be as simple as a spoon goes from the gluten stuffing into the mashed potatoes and now it's contaminated and I could possibly get sick. So that's a big, big tip. Chat with your hosts, kind of go grab those gluten-free options before other people get into them. Salads, mashed potatoes, depending on if they added seasonings or not. I tend to go for the veggie trays, which seem to be the last thing everybody else goes for, and I will eat the veggies. I don't think the host minds about that, right? But it's just taking your safety and health into consideration. And option number three, going to your Thanksgiving gathering and just not eating at all. It is a valid option, though it can feel a little awkward at first. But you just have to remember that this is your health and safety, number one priority. And if you're extremely sensitive, it might be better just not to eat at all. I would love to know in the comments below if you've ever gone to a Thanksgiving or other holiday gathering and just not ate anything at all because of your gluten-free health choice. There has been times where I have done this. And yes, you do have to be ready for those family and friends to ask you why you're not eating. Can't you just have a little bit? It can't hurt you that bad. Oh, I've heard that one so many times because people feel guilty that you are just sitting there not eating why everybody else is. So I understand their concerns, but the health has to come first. But I do have a few other little tips that can help you navigate if you're just not going to eat at all. I tend to like to help the littles cut up their food, or if they're little babies, I offer to feed the babies so their parents can, eat and enjoy their meal. And then it's a win-win. I get to hang out with the babies of the littles, and the parents get to have a little bit of a break. You could also, help with the serving. You could take dishes away. You can get people drinks. I know it sounds like, okay, you went to a Thanksgiving gathering and turned into a waitress or waiter, but it's just something that you can kind of do and help out. And then people will feel less awkward because you're kind of keeping yourself busy, and they'll go on eating and chit chatting amongst themselves. Or maybe you just sit down with a beverage and you sit and chit chat with everybody. There is options, and I really do want you to know that it is totally okay if you decide not to eat at all. I have done it in the past. You do get over it. The first time will be a little awkward, but I promise it gets better. All right, let's do a little recap on how to handle a not gluten-friendly house when you are invited to their Thanksgiving. Number one, you bring your own food, whether that is a whole entire prepared little meal planned dish, or if you're just bringing a gluten-free dish to pass. Option two is communicating with your host and eating some of the foods that they have already prepared that are either naturally gluten-free or the host helped make gluten-free for you. And then lastly, option three is that you just don't eat at all. Be ready with that statement saying, it is for my health. I just can't. It has nothing to do with your cooking. I promise. Why don't you let me help do this or that? Just be prepared. They'll get it eventually. If you found these tips helpful, download my Thanksgiving gluten-free guide in the link in the show descriptions, or you can comment with the word guide and I'll send it right over your way. And make sure to check out my other videos on all things gluten-free Thanksgiving and hit that like and subscribe button. Until next time.